Hey guys, I am going to try to make a very quick video before I leave for work in 3 minutes. I'm coming at you with my 4-month surgiversary. Can't believe it's been 4 months already. The time has totally flown by. I feel great. Let me give you my stats. My starting weight was 302. I made notes, so I have to look down. My day of surgery, 274. Last week I was 231.2, and this week I was 227. I'm no longer in the 230s. I am in the 220s. That's a loss of 4.2 for the week, and a total loss of 75 pounds. So, I'm pretty excited about that. Seriously, a year ago, I really just didn't have very much hope. And here I am a year later. Not even a year later, really, because I really didn't even try to get back on a diet until like end of July. So just since end of July, I've lost 75 pounds. So, if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, I just feel like giving up, and, don't. Just work at it. Even a pound a week is a pound a week, and that's 52 pounds a year. So, it all adds up. It all makes a difference. For the last couple of weeks, I've had, not real big losses. And then this week I got hit with a 4.2, so, that's great. And I'm officially down. 227 is the weight that I got down to 3 years ago when I was doing low carb. At that time, I had lost a total of 67 pounds. And then my birthday happened, and I ate cake and ate sugar and was totally out of control again. And long story short, gained it all back, plus more. We all have that same story pretty much. Sorry, Riley's over here. Hi, Riley. So I just wanted to tell you, keep at it. You can do it. I did it, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. So, I still need to get back more to the gym. I've only gone a couple of times this past week. And another non-scale victory that I had was yesterday. I wore a shirt that I have not worn in 3 years, and at that time I only wore it once, because it got accidentally put into the dryer and it shrunk at least a size. So even though I'm 227 now, like I was 227 then, I seem to be a little bit smaller because then I could not wear that shirt out of the dryer where I could wear it yesterday. So I am going to go to work, and then I'm going to come home and edit in a couple of recipes that I've made over the past couple of weeks. One is for chicken nuggets, and the other one is for the fathead pizza crust. I know a lot of people are making pizza these days, and that's a recipe that tried and true, that I've had since 3 years ago. It's my favorite pizza crust. Doesn't mean I won't find another new favorite, but for now that is the one that I enjoy the most. So I was going to share it with you. I made it last night for dinner, and with that I'm going to say I'll be back. Okay, so for the low-carb chicken nuggets, you're going to need approximately 3/4 of a pound of chicken cut into nugget-sized bites. You're also going to need some pork rinds. I used half of a bag of the 3.5 ounce Yoder's original pork rinds. You could also change it up a little bit and use another flavor like barbecue or hot or whatever you find that's low in carbs, doesn't have a lot of sugar. The next thing you're going to need is some coconut flour, and it's about a tablespoon of that. The brand that I have shown here in the picture is what I use. It doesn't have a actual coconut flavor to it. If you don't have coconut flour, or you don't want to bother buying it just for this recipe, I'm sure regular all-purpose flour would work just fine. Next, you're going to need 1 egg, and you're going to want to beat that along with 1/4 of a cup of water. And then you're going to want to add seasonings of your choice. The original recipe called for 1/2 of a teaspoon of sea salt, 1/2 of a teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 of a teaspoon of black pepper. I don't add salt to anything. I did put a little bit of onion powder in. I think I did the 1/2 teaspoon. And I think I did the 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. But I also added a fourth of a teaspoon of, I think it's called sriracha seasoning. It's hot. I'd never had it before. So I added a fourth of a teaspoon to the actual seasoning mix. And then I also had the bright idea of adding another fourth of a teaspoon to the pork rinds after I crushed them up. And I forgot to tell you, to crush up your pork rinds, you want to put them, it's probably easiest to do in a food processor. You could probably put them in a large Ziploc bag and, crush them up that way. But really the food processor is the best way because you want to get them into crumbs. But like I said, I had the bright idea of adding that fourth of a teaspoon of sriracha seasoning to not only the seasoning mix, but also to the pork rind crumbs, and that was really hot. I used to like hot food. I can't do hot food anymore, and I knew my husband was going to eat these, so he likes spicy chicken, and let me tell you, it was spicy. I wouldn't add the extra fourth of a teaspoon again. It was just way too hot. So you're going to mix your beaten egg with your fourth of a cup of water in a separate bowl. And this is going to be like your egg wash. You want to mix up your seasonings with your coconut flour and then mix it into your bite-sized chicken pieces. And then you want to place your crushed pork rinds on a plate, and you're going to take one of your chicken nuggets that you seasoned with the coconut flour and the seasonings, and you're going to dip it quickly into your egg wash, and then you're going to roll it into the pork rind crumbs. Now for placing it on your baking sheets, I suggest parchment paper. I like parchment paper for everything. It's easy cleanup. But if you don't have that, you could just use foil, whatever. But as you dip them, from the egg wash into the pork rinds, then you're going to place them onto your baking sheet. And you want to bake these in a 365-degree oven for about 20 minutes. I flipped them halfway through, and after 20 minutes, they looked like they were about done, but the outsides weren't quite, as crispy as I really wanted them to. So I really think if I'd stuck them under the broiler for just, a minute or so, that might have helped crisp them up a little bit. So I'm going to try that the next time. But that's just, something that you can do if you want to. So as you can see in the picture, this is the final product after they come out of the oven. And I gotta say, they were pretty good. I weighed out 3 ounces, and they were just so spicy. I think I only really ended up eating maybe 2 ounces, and I gave my husband the rest, but he ate all of it. He really liked it. So hopefully you enjoy that. Okay, so to make the pizza, first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 425 degrees. And you're going to want to get a baking sheet ready with a piece of parchment paper on the bottom and another piece of parchment paper the same size to be used for your top. So the ingredients that you're going to need is 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese, which is a whole bag, 2 tablespoons of fat-free cream cheese, 3 ounces of almond flour, a fourth of a cup of pizza sauce, half a cup of Jimmy Dean fully cooked turkey sausage crumbles. I used 23 turkey pepperoni. You can use what you want. I will put the stats in the bottom for what I used. And then I also picked up some already cut up onions, peppers, like banana peppers, and diced tomatoes off of the salad bar when I was at Kroger. All of these ingredients came from Kroger, even the almond flour. So first thing that you're going to want to do is get a microwavable bowl. I use plastic. It's easier to get the cheese out of. when, after you cook it, because it's going to stick a little bit. So you're going to want to put 6 ounces, not the whole 8 ounces, but just 6 ounces of the shredded mozzarella into your bowl. And you're going to add your 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. And then you're going to microwave this for about a minute. And you want to take it out and stir it up really good. And then you're going to want to stick it back in for about another 30 seconds. And again, stir it up really, really well. When it comes out of the microwave, it's going to kind of look like a big white blob. You want to work kind of quick with this because as your cheese cools down, it gets a little tougher to work with. So as soon as it comes out of the microwave and your cheese is liquidy and everything's melted and gooey, you want to dump in your almond flour and your egg, and you want to start stirring quickly. At this time, if you want to add any seasonings to your crust, like Italian seasoning or anything, I used some of my, what's it called? Everything bagel seasoning. It was next to the stove. I hadn't put it away yet, and I thought, why not? It's got garlic and stuff in it. So I tossed some of that in, along with some Italian seasoning. So after you have everything mixed up really well, remember you're working quickly, you want to dump it out onto your parchment paper that's on your baking sheet, and you want to stick your other piece of parchment paper on top, and you want to start getting it flattened out to whatever size you want. You can even make little ones, like little pizza crust. Here I'm showing where I basically spread it out really, really thin. And one thing I forgot to do was I always folded in my edges like maybe 1/4 of an inch just to give it that thicker crust on the outside. And you'll see later on, because I didn't do this, my edges kind of burnt a little bit because I made the crust so thin. I like a thin crust. I just think it's better. So I placed it into the oven and I baked it until it started to get golden brown. I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. I just kept an eye on it. When it looks like this and it's kind of golden brown, oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you because I also forgot to do this. You want to take a fork and poke holes all over your crust before you stick it in the oven, because if not, you're going to look in and you're going to be getting giant bubbles. And that happened to me, and I just pulled it out real quick, poked in the holes, and then stuck it back in, and it was fine. So like I said, when it gets to be kind of golden brown, pull it out. I just saved my piece of parchment paper that I had used for the top, and I flipped it over onto that. So now the bottom of the pizza is up, and I put it back in the oven just for a few minutes to get it a little bit more crisp. When that was done, I brought it out of the oven. I flipped it back over to where the top side was facing up, and I put my sauce on. And speaking of sauces, I've tried to find the lowest carb pizza sauce that I could, because pizza sauce is known for having sugar in it. So the one I found was pretty good. Next, you want to add your toppings, such as your sausage crumbles. I just did the sausage crumbles, and then I added the other 2 ounces of shredded cheese on top. And after that, I added my turkey pepperoni, and then all the onions and the diced red and green peppers. And you'll notice the back right corner doesn't have any banana peppers. It's because I don't like banana peppers, and I already knew I wasn't going to have more than 2 servings for 2 days. So I just put the banana peppers on the rest of it for Randy. And then in this picture you can see, first of all, I did cut it into 12 pieces, and a serving was 2 squares of the pizza. So I thought it was, it filled me up. 2 squares was more than filling for me. But in this picture you can see how thin the crust is, and it does hold up. It's not limp or soggy. and here it is finished on the plate. So, you know, like I said, I know a lot of people are making pizza right now, and, you know, I do plan on trying those pizza recipes. I'm just sharing what I have enjoyed for like the last 3 years. So I hope you enjoy it too, and if you decide to make it, let me know. Alright guys, I will talk to you hopefully next week or even the week after. Have a great week. Bye.